Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Rules Horror. Story 1. Rules for the Second Floor Office. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Hi. I'm Will, from HR. If you're seeing this message, you've been assigned to the second floor office. May God help you. Straight to the point, this building isn't particularly welcoming. Pay attention and follow the rules to the letter. Don't worry about me, I'm probably already dead. Rule 1. Food in the offices is strictly prohibited. Unless you'd like to lose a limb like I did, eat in the lobby or leave to buy lunch. Rule 2. Don't look away from the screen and make as little noise as possible at the beginning of your shift for exactly 35 minutes. The walls need time to fall back asleep from your intrusion, and looking at them distracts them. Stay quiet for another 25 minutes after this. Rule 2a. Once exactly 1 hour has passed since the beginning of your shift, the walls are too far asleep for noise to wake them up. You should be safe. Rule 3. If you accidentally break something, anything in the office, run. The walls won't take kindly to such an offense. Rule 4. At exactly 2:20 p.m., someone will enter the office. Observe what they look like to discern how to deal with them. They will be gone by 3:4 if they are relatively short and heavy-set, that's Rob. Feel free to discuss anything you want with him, he'll happily listen and talk. 4b if they are tall and thin, that is Roman. He will begin to complain to you about his day. Do not respond vocally or make eye contact. He doesn't believe death is a suitable punishment for that. 4c if they have red hair, immediately ask them how they feel about the weather. If they reply anything positive, immediately clock out and leave the building. Call your manager as soon as you are outside. If they reply with anything negative, apologize, then return to your work. It will leave soon after. Failure to comply is an easy way to find out what beetles taste like. Rule 5. For the love of God, do not challenge Micah to anything. You will regret it. Rule 6. Mind the floorboards. The non-creaky ones tend to collapse into portals to Jinyung Gagap. If you don't know what that is, thank whatever it is you worship. You don't want to know. Rule 7. The walkers will be wandering the halls during the day. They can't see, but will hear the creaky floorboards. Good luck with that. Rule 8. There is a tabby cat behind the work desk. His name is Kelly. Take good care of him. He doesn't mean any harm, but his hiss will attract Roman early. Rule 9. Make sure to take Kelly home. Be warned, his presence may attract a walker or two to your home. Not taking him home will result in your work desk collapsing into a pile of feces. Be warned, the feces carries Ebola. Kelly does not, though. Rule 10. Stay safe. My corpse is most likely nailed to the entrance. Make sure to greet me, the others inside my corpse dislike rude people. I hope this will keep you safe. Really, I mean it. I hate to not provide enough information, but these rules will keep you alive. Take care of Kelly, mind Rob and Roman, and stay away from Micah. If the walls get you, just pray. They might just send you down the floorboards instead. Good luck, and God help you. Story 2. How to Survive Arthur. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Today was my expected last day of moving to Michigan. I've finally decided to go to the mall to buy some decorations and lights. But I think I saw someone from the corner of my eye following me. It seems to be some random guy in a mask. Then an old lady walked up to me carrying a small piece of paper and she handed it to me. When I read it I could only see the words. Arthur is following you plastered all over the front side of the paper. I paid no mind until I saw the back. A small set of rules. How to survive Arthur. So you've stumbled upon Arthur. Now he's following you. In 1983 I was in the same predicament as you. Arthur was stalking me, but unlike my time, I'm here to help. Just remember, Arthur is terribly hungry nowadays. I can only assume he will try to deceive you. Lock yourself home. Arthur likes to wear masks, even those of your family members. You may hear your family members call for you to open the door, or maybe even an attractive man. But whatever you do, do not open the door. If you get deceived, follow Rule 2.a. Arthur is almost completely invincible. You cannot kill him by normal means. If you try, he may % so be sure to carry a gun. 2. Arthur can only be knocked out if you shoot him. You must shoot him specifically right in the heart from behind him. Should you miss his heart, he will run to where the bullet came from. Should he see you, I'm sorry, it's game over. He will make you suffer a fate worse than death unless you follow Rule 5 before he can. 2.b Should you knock out Arthur, you have 3 hours to work with. You must cut him into bite-sized pieces and make his flesh into any food, but should he wake up before you eat his flesh, you will have to follow Rule 5. 2.c Should you eat him, I must insist you never be alone for more than 10 minutes, or else Arthur will leave you dead while being free to find his next victim. 3. Walk to Arthur and hug him tightly, winky face. 4. Arthur may try to deceive you into getting close to him. Do not listen to him. Should even one of teeth sink into you, you will be very happy. So be sure to walk and hug him. 5. So you've reached the aforementioned Rule 5. It's simple. Kill yourself. It doesn't matter how, but if you don't kill yourself, you'll suffer a fate worse than death barely anyone can talk about. 6. Arthur is someone only those he hunts can see. No one but you can see him. For example, if you shoot him, the bullet may shoot Arthur but may shoot someone behind him. When you eat his flesh, it may seem that you are eating air. Should you try to report him to others, no one will understand. I'm afraid as soon as he started his hunt, your tongue speaks words no one understands either. 7. Arthur is not dead nor alive. Try as you might, Arthur will come for another person. You can only just try to survive his hunt and pass it on to another person. 7. Due to this, he is not logical, so he cannot be affected by anything within the realm of logic except a simple bullet which can simply cut through the realm of logic into the world of illogical. Interestingly enough, he moves when you don't see him. Either it's his sick twisted mind limiting his movements so he can play with his food, I don't know, but whatever it is, be wary of his movements. As I looked up, the old lady vanished, but the man who was following me, I could feel breathing down at my neck. As I looked up from the rules, the man who I can only understand is Arthur was an inch away from me, ready to sink a few large fangs into me. I don't know what it was, but I heard a voice call to me saying you should run. I don't know if it was the fear that Arthur was about to bite me or not knowing where the voice came from, or if it was the old lady telling me to run, but I immediately felt the urge to sprint away. As I ran, I kept looking behind me only to see Arthur either slowly walking to me or appearing closer and closer. As I began to turn my head to keep running forward, I saw a security guard. As I changed direction running to him, Arthur began to appear, running and coming closer faster and faster. I tried to talk to the guard, but he kept asking if I could speak English despite I was speaking English. As Arthur came closer, I remember what the note said. Should you try to report him to others, no one will understand. It was at that moment I decided to run home. After all, it was only 0.3 miles away from the mall. I could certainly run home and pick up a gun. So I simply began to run home. I then texted my friend Sharon to come to my house, just so I had someone to talk with. I was soon at my street. I saw Sharon's car parked in my driveway, but Sharon was not in sight. Never mind, I told myself, she must have unlocked the door with the spare key. I went to my door. Arthur was nowhere in sight. I heard something faint from the door, but it's fine. I opened the door. I saw not Sharon but Arthur. His jaw opened as he bit me. I could feel an overwhelming pain overwhelm me. I blacked out, and when I woke up I could only see Arthur gnawing at my arm, ripping bits and pieces off and then regenerating, only for Arthur to keep eating and gnawing at me, ripping more and more until my arm finally came off. Story 3. Suddenly your radio turns on. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. You hear someone breathing heavily from the other side. Intrigued, you pick up the radio and answer. Hello? No one answers, but the breathing is still there. Hello? Finally, you hear a voice. Hello? Is anyone there? Panicked, you drop the radio from your hand. Alright, I don't have much time, so if there's anyone there please answer, the other voice says in a weird tone. Hello? Thank God someone's here, but there's not enough time for me, so I'll just be quick. Take notes, alright? Nervous, you take out a dirty notebook. Okay, so first of all, you're not supposed to be here, neither do I, but I managed to survive for a while, so I'll try to explain you as quick as possible. Sir, what do you? First, make sure there's absolutely no one near you. If there is, take anything sharp and stab them, they're not humans. If there's no one, then you can walk around and grab stuff, just make sure you don't touch anything that has a blue stamp on it. Why? Just don't, trust me, I had to learn it the bad way. Now if you find any doors, you can't cross them unless they have paint. I marked those just in case someone came here too. Sir, I don't understand, where am I? I don't even know, but pay attention to what I'm say. You hear a strange noise, with no apparent origin. What was that? I was going there, and thankfully that was one of the least important ones. Least important what? The sounds? Exactly, so these sounds, I haven't figured out where they come from, but I noticed they're linked with some events. Well, if you hear loud metallic sounds, like the last one, you're mostly safe, just be careful with any wind source you see, as some weird liquid comes out during this event. I would say what happens if you touch it, but luckily I haven't touched it. Now, if you hear like if a door closed violently, what happens? Well, just be careful where you step. Then, if it sounds like an engine, is mostly probably a joke, but keep an eye on the walls. And finally, if the sound is a screech, just start running. That thing is very strong, it pulled my whole arm out of my body. Okay? You say nervous. There can also be some signs on the walls. Always do the opposite of what they say unless it says right with an arrow pointing to the right. If so, then follow the sign, and under any circumstances don't go back after that. Understood, you said more confident. Now one more thing, if you ever the radio disconnects, questioning about what was the man on the other line about to say, you begin to walk around, following everything else he said, until you stumble upon a hole, strangely emitting a light. You decide to avoid it, not knowing that would be your last mistake. Story 4. A Local's Guide to Living in Calchester. A place to share scary stories which contain a set of rules to follow. Welcome to Calchester. We're pleased to have you as our newest resident. As a welcome gift, I'd like to offer you this set of rules everyone here lives by, and therefore leads harmonious lives. Make sure to keep this list close to you and try to remember the rules at all times, so you can live a peaceful life here as intended. On Mondays we wear yellow. That way we greet the upcoming week happily and full of energy. Make sure everything you are wearing is yellow. You don't want to have a week filled with misfortune, do you? Gold is, however, forbidden. It's a sign of greed and wanting to be perceived as better from the others. But you won't do that. You want to fit in, right? On Tuesdays we dress in green. We're expressing ourselves as lucky and youthful individuals. Doctors only work on Tuesdays. Health should only be granted to those wearing green. If you're having an appointment and hear screams coming from the ground, ignore them. They belong to those who didn't wear green. You'd never be one of them, though. You value our community. On Wednesdays we clothe ourselves in blue. We're a peaceful, beautiful, secure ocean. We stay together and true to our town no matter what. To show our appreciation to our hometown, we all do community service on Wednesdays. We pick up trash from the streets, help the elderly and the disabled. Now, if you're cleaning the streets and find a limb of some sort, Call Elaine, the old lady who lives in a house next to the hospital. She'll be happy to add one to her collection, and you will be generously awarded. Good things come only to those who respect our community, as you do. On Thursdays we put on ivory. It's a peaceful, quiet day. Buses to and from Calchester exist only on Thursdays. Make sure to travel only between 9 am and 6 pm. Make no mistake, this doesn't mean that you are free to abandon our community for good. If you're gone for over a week at the time, you will be found. You will be punished. Traveling at ungodly times will result in a gruesome fate. You don't want to see. You don't want to know. Trust me on this one. On Fridays we wear pink. It's the beginning of the weekend. Live a little. Visit your neighbors, have a drink at the bar, go out with your friends. Friday is a free, joyful day. Dates are permitted, as are one-night stands. I warmly recommend the KLA Taverna. They have the best steak in the world. The locals love it. You're a local now. On Saturdays we dress in red. It's a day of power, a day of order and passion. If you followed all the rules, Saturday is nothing to worry about. If you didn't, Saturday itself is your smallest problem. Don't be surprised if an official barges into your home. They're just checking if everything's in place. If it's not, they'll know. Don't try to run, you won't outrun them. Offer them a cup of tea instead. They might show mercy. On Sundays we cover ourselves in black. It's a church day. Going to the service is mandatory. Enter the church, take a seat and don't speak to anyone. Those who speak on Sundays have their tongues removed. A priest will come in. He'll preach and read the Bible even if you're religious and know it by heart. Listen carefully to every word of it. It changes every Sunday. A group of people will be brought in. You'll notice that they're not wearing black. They're wearing white instead. They are not one of us anymore. Their mouths will be sewn shut, their hairs short and tidy. The priest will read one more prayer to each of them, then lay them on the altar. They shall be cut open, ripped inside out. They'll want to scream, but they'll be unable to. So will you. Ultimately, our God will decide their fate. Whatever you see, hear, taste will make you want to throw up, jump away or leave in tears. But you'll stay silent and sit there. That's your purpose as a mere servant of our God. Witness the fate of those who disobey him. After the process, their flesh shall be taken back. If you see the priest giving their mutilated corpses to the butcher, look away. What did you think the steak from our favorite taverna was? If the priest asks you to help clean up guts from the floor, nod politely and do so. He will remember it, and trust me, you want him to like you. It might come in handy if you break the rules. After the service you're free to go home. Still, don't speak, it's Sunday for God's sake. At home, you can let go. Scream, cry, yell all you want. No one will hear you. You'll want to forget. You'll want to escape. You'll wish you never stepped a foot into this town. Try to get some sleep. Thinking will get you nowhere. When you wake up, take a shower. Put on a wide smile and dress in yellow clothing. It'll then be Monday, after all. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.